Camera speeds.
Roll one, scene one, take one.
Somebody's coming.
This is the first episode of Stuck in a Rut, and I am with Melody Ray.
Hi.
And so, tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now, and what you're very excited about to be promoting in terms of your career.
I just finished filming a movie. It was called She Ball before Christmas, so I'm excited about that because it's a different avenue in my career, going from modeling to acting. I did it growing up, and I got to play a character that had a lot of internal issues and kind of growing into a woman, and she went through a lot of drama with her mom and living in a homeless shelter. So there was a lot of different feelings and energies and vibes that came from her that I was excited to play as a character and really tap into from myself internally. So it was cool to do something like that.
It's amazing. So we were chatting a little bit before, and one of the things that I've experienced in the last few years is mind and body transformation, and we had that in common. So
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that just for a couple seconds before we get into our rut questions. So when I first started training, I was having a lot of issues with my body, and I couldn't get myself into shape, and I was really berating myself all the time at the gym. And I found once I'd stopped doing that to myself, and I actually just trained for me, for who I am, I actually saw real transformation in my body. What have you experienced in that you can tell everybody that's watching in terms of like where your mind is that then translates to your body?
You know, to be honest, I think it's like, it's how you feel on the inside. It's more of, people are like, I want to look this way and I want to be that way because they see an image of someone. And they're like, oh my God, she's so beautiful. Her body's perfect. You just want that perfection. When in reality, when you put that pressure on yourself and you're like, I need to diet, I need to, especially like crash diet and be like, I'm just not going to eat, or I'm going to eat these certain things and I'm going to go to the gym a ton, like 50 times a day. It's like, if you put so much pressure on yourself and really like try, that's when I feel like you fail. It's more about being yourself and going through the motions of like, what makes you happy? Why are you doing this? Are you doing this for someone else, or are you doing this to make yourself feel better? Because at the end of the day, you need to dress and feel good about yourself for you, not for anybody else. So if your body feels good 10 pounds more than it was or 10 pounds less, that's okay. It's about what makes you happy. It's not what about makes everybody else happy, because you're not really going to make everybody else happy ever in life.
True. So let's talk about happiness. The point of today, why I wanted you to come, is for Stuck in a Rut, and I want to know, what are your top 5 things that you'd tell your best friend to do to get out of a rut?
Okay, the first thing I would say is what we're doing right now, communication. So really connecting with someone and just spending time with your best friend. I think it's about being in a judge-free zone and knowing that you can actually truly let your emotions out and be vulnerable with somebody, and they're going to listen to you and just be there for you, because it's so important. I think sometimes people just need somebody to listen, and it gets really tough and it's hard, and we hide all of this, like, it's going to make me cry.
That's okay. We have tissues somewhere.
Hide all of these emotions that we're feeling, and you don't really have somebody there to release those to, and I think that's a huge thing for people to have, is an outlet.
Yeah, and I found for me, I always get to a point where I isolate when I'm having a hard time. Is that something that you do?
I'm the exact same way. I'm really good at helping everyone else, and I'm not good at sometimes allowing myself to be helped from someone else, and to trust someone enough to release my emotions and let them help me. I love helping people. Like, I love being there for someone else, and I try my best to find the answers for them, but it's hard to have someone there to help you. It's really, really hard for me to find someone that I can honestly trust and let go with.
Yeah, and I think we really know we need to reach out to people, and that's the hardest part, is actually just taking that first step and saying, hey, I'm stuck in a rut. Can you come over and bring me chocolates and some goodies? Because I need a care package.
I need
some friends right now. Okay, so let's move on. Number 2. What's the second thing that you do, or you would advise your friend to do?
Okay, so for me, I can dance around and have a blast by myself. So
music, what do you play?
music is everything for me.
Tell me your song.
I'm old school 90s R&B and hip hop to the fullest. I think it's like speaks to your heart and your soul, and nowadays music is just about a beat. It's not, the lyrics are like, oh, I want to screw your mom and stuff. It's not.
That does not help you get out of a rut.
This is not good.
It's not going to help you. So my song that I dance around to, or I specifically dance around in my car and play really loud, is Tina Turner's Simply the Best.
Oh,
What's
good.
yours?
That's good. Oh, what would be my song? This is a hard one.
When your boyfriend is annoying you and doesn't text you back, what's the song?
Oh, girl. First of all, I don't have a boyfriend. Thank God I don't have those issues. Secondly, it would be hard for me to choose a specific song. I think I literally just go to old playlists of like 80s and 90s music.
Thank
it's
God
always
for Spotify
80s and 90s.
these days.
Yeah.
You can just put on a Spotify playlist.
I mean, my playlists are fire, but it's all old music, and then country music. Actually, I grew up around country, and a lot of people don't like it, but for me, it's a feel-good music. It tells a story. It like really brings you into a different perspective of life. It's always good feeling music. Country is no matter what. Like, to me, when I listen to it, I have like the windows down and the wind blowing, and
that's what's the best about you is we can tell like you're from, you know, that wholesome kind of town. You just have that girl next door vibe going on, and I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Thank you.
Your third thing. What is your third thing? It gets hard the more we go, but you know, it opens up. It really opens up your emotions, and we'll start to
let's see
crack
the
you
third
open.
thing. The third thing. You know, to be honest, I really get excited when I come home and I have like bad food and drinks, and I bring them into my bed and I watch a movie. Like, a lot of people say don't do that because women do when we get depressed or have anxiety or just whatever stresses of life. They're like, oh, don't eat bad food and don't put your feelings into your food. And to me, sometimes I like eating bad food and having...
Sometimes you need to numb out on a whole bowl of chocolates.
Yeah.
I have a jar of chocolates about this big, and when I'm having a hard day, I take that bowl. I'm just like, I'm eating these, and I don't even care. I don't care.
You're like the happiest person on the planet.
And who doesn't want to numb out on some treats? I feel like that's a great way to just treat yourself. And it's that 80-20 principle, you know?
Yeah.
You can't deny yourself everything that you love.
You feel good. Like, I catch myself with a big smile on my face when I have it, and I'm like, this is just great. Like, life is wonderful. It might not be wonderful the whole scheme of things, but it's wonderful in my bed right now, so.
Exactly, and that moment is all that counts.
Yeah.
Number 4.
A big thing for me is feeding yourself positive messages, because we're with ourselves the most. So I think that speaking life into yourself is the most important thing. Telling yourself you're beautiful, I feel great today. What can I do today that's going to make me happy? In the sense of like, you're smart, you're sophisticated, you're elegant, you're wonderful. Like, whatever you can feed yourself in a positive way, I feel like is so important, because we speak to ourselves more than anybody. I mean, I'm in my head all the time.
Well, what I love most about your Instagram is your captions. It's micro blogging these kind of deep feelings that you know not only help yourself, but help everyone else around you. Mm-hmm. How do you keep that going? How, every time you have a post, which we have to post very frequently, how do you come up with a new caption?
For me, it's different. It's sometimes like in that moment, I think of it and I start writing it, and it comes so freely and quickly. And then there's other times that I'm having a conversation like I am now, and I'll leave here and I'll write something in my notes. So I have a lot of notes written all over the place of random ideas and thoughts, and I just kind of go back to that and put it with a picture that I think relates to it. It's either I'm feeling it that day, or I get some weird vibes sometimes when I wake up that someone needs to hear this message that I've just written. And I'm like, put this out there. Whether you're actually feeling that or you think that somebody needs to hear it, it's weird. I have a weird intuition with that. And that's kind of how I do it. I go off of my emotion, my heartfelt feelings of what I've seen other people go through or what I've actually been through myself.
One of the things that has happened with me is when I've put out my feelings and been really authentic, I get a lot of messages from people afterwards, direct messages saying that whatever I've said, they've gone through the same thing, whatever. How about that for you? Does that happen frequently? And, and it just makes you feel delicious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like you're doing some good in the world.
It does. That's actually like the biggest thing for me with social media. It's not been about like advertising things or making money and doing it for that reason. It's when the people like reach out to me and they're like, thank you for this today, and you can I can feel it through the phone that it really impacted that person. And for me, it's like, even if it's one person, it's awesome. Like I made somebody feel good that day, and that to me is everything.
Just makes everything worthwhile.
Yeah.
Number 5, the last thing. What is your final dessert of ruts?
Back to body and mind connection. I think physical, getting your body moving in any way. Like sometimes that's the hardest thing for me, and I love working out, but it's when you're depressed or you're going through any time of like stressful situation, normally I want to just lay in bed and say to myself like that, you just shut down everything possible. And I think it's important to move your body, whether that's dancing, going out with your friends, like taking a walk, going to the gym. Once you get through it, you feel like a new woman. It's getting yourself there. But I think it's so important.
Sometimes I've even gone to the gym just for 15 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm done here. And then I leave. But the fact that I went is what counts.
Yeah.
And I just love that.
It's true.
I just love the things you've chosen. I think it's so great what you've said, and I think it just makes me feel like I'm not alone in my choice of eating.
You're definitely not alone. So I actually just did this last night, so it was kind of funny.
What did you eat though?
What did I have? I had some chips and Toblerone chocolates.
Yum.
What else?
Airport size or
the little
regular
mochi
size?
ice cream.
Oh
No, I have like a big thing of Toblerone chocolate.
Okay.
But it like I just caught, and when I was thinking about talking to you, I was like, this is so funny. I had this big smile on my face when I was watching the TV, and I was like, man, I'm so happy right now. Like, it's weird, but I was happy.
I love it. Oh my god, this is so amazing, and I'm so glad that you were my first guest on this little adventure that I'm going on. It just makes me feel so excited to just give this information out to everybody. It's so great. So thanks for coming on my little show, and hopefully we'll be doing some more stuff with you too.
Thank you for having me.
And that's how you get out of your rut.